Hey everyone, welcome back to the Just Start Talking podcast, the show where we help you build your confidence and improve your English one conversation at a time. I'm your host, Jody, and today we are on episode 21 of season 1, if you can believe that. If you've been tuning in, you probably already know what we do here. We break down English grammar, vocabulary, we give conversation tips, and best practices for real-life speaking. And what's today's topic? Today we're going to talk about a very useful verb tense, the past continuous. What is it? So let's just get into it, okay? So first of all, what is the past continuous? What does that even mean? Let's break that name down into two parts. Past. That means it happened before now. Continuous. That means it was in progress. So it's something that was happening over a period of time. So let's put it together, and the past continuous is used to describe actions that were in progress at a specific moment in the past. Here's a really basic example. I was watching TV at 8 p.m. last night. Not just I watched TV, I was watching tells us that the action was happening. It was ongoing at a certain time in the past. So the formula looks like this. Was, were, plus the verb, plus ing at the end. For example, I was reading. You were cooking. They were running. She was studying. It seems easy, right? But sometimes it can get a little confusing. So, when do we use the past continuous? Let's talk about it a little bit. There's 4 common situations where we might use the past continuous. First of all, to talk about an action that's in progress at a specific time in the past. At 7 a.m., I was drinking coffee. You're showing what was happening at that moment. Number 2, to describe 2 actions happening at the same time. I was listening to music while I was cleaning the kitchen. Both actions are in progress. The key word here is while. I was listening to music while I was cleaning the kitchen. So you were doing both things at the same time. Number 3, to show an interrupted action. I was walking to the store when it started to rain. So you were in the middle of doing something, and then something else happened. That second action is usually the simple past. Number 4, to set the scene in a story. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and everyone was smiling. We might use the past continuous to create a background or a mood before the main action begins. So, what are some words and phrases that might go with the past continuous? Let's talk about some of these phrases that often go along with this past continuous tense. There's quite a few certain phrases and words that go along. There's time expressions. So you could say, at 3 p.m., I was working. You might use the word while. She was talking while I was driving. You might use the word when. He was sleeping when the phone rang. Or something could be happening all day or all night. They were studying all night. Or they spent all day in the library. Or this time yesterday, we were having lunch. And there's a lot of common verbs that also appear in the past continuous. Some of the more common verbs that you'll use: watch, listen, walk, cook, study, drive, work, sleep, or talk. These are the verbs that describe the actions that take time, not quick actions. So, let's kind of talk about some easy tips to remember the past continuous. Let's do a couple of quick tips to keep this tense straight, because I know it's confusing. The first tip, think about the background. If you're telling a story or describing what was going on around a certain event, use the past continuous for background and simple past for the main event. For example, I was reading a book when the lights went out. Tip number 2, use was for the words I, he, she, and it, and use were for the words you, we, and they. This can help your grammar stay clean. For example, I was eating. You were running. He was sleeping. They were talking. Tip number 3, don't forget the ing at the end. This is one of the most common mistakes. People say I was play instead of I was playing. Always add that ing. And tip number 4, use it with action verbs, not stative verbs. Avoid verbs like know, believe, or understand in the past continuous. The wrong thing, I was knowing the answer. The right thing, I knew the answer. Now, let's do some practice tips to master this crazy past continuous. How do you get better at using it? Here's a few key ways to practice on your own. And like I've said a million times before, just practice it in front of the mirror by yourself. The first thing you can do, journal about your day yesterday. Write about what you were doing during different times of the day. For example, at 9 a.m., I was answering emails. Around 12, I was eating lunch with a friend. This is a good way to keep it in your mind. The second thing you can do is watch short videos or TV shows in English. Then describe what the characters were doing at a certain moment. Like, in that scene, the woman was running and the man was calling her name. Or you could use little memory games. Try this one. Think of an event like a holiday or a weekend, then answer, what were you doing at 10 a.m. on that day? You could say, at 10 a.m., I was brushing my teeth. Or at 10 a.m., I was eating a donut. And even if you just make something up, say the full sentence. It helps you practice. Fourth, talk to your friends or even talk to your tutor if you have an English tutor that's helping you. Ask questions like, what were you doing last night at 8 p.m.? Were you watching that movie yesterday? Make it a habit to practice this one because it'll just help you get better and understand it more and memorize. Finally, what are some best practices for speaking the past continuous? Let's wrap this up with some best practices when speaking. Be specific with times. The past continuous works best when you connect it to a specific moment. Use exact times or time markers, like at 12 noon, I was eating my lunch. Or before I went to bed, I was brushing my teeth. Mix it with other tenses. Don't be afraid to combine the past continuous with the simple past. It makes your storytelling a lot more real. Like I was talking to my friend when someone knocked on the door. But don't overuse. Not every past action needs to be continuous. Use it for backgrounds or ongoing actions, not short, simple ones. He was closing the door sounds awkward if it was just a quick moment. In that case, it's better to say, he closed the door. And finally, use the past continuous just to sound more natural. If you want to sound fluent and casual, past continuous is great for everyday conversations. Yeah, let's give a big cheer for the past continuous. So let's review and wrap this thing up. The past continuous helps you talk about what was happening at a certain time in the past. We use was or were plus a verb with ing at the end. Pair it with words like while, when, or all day. Practice by describing your past days or talking about movies and scenes. Most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just start talking. Like I said, it's the best thing you can do. You'll get better every time you try. And thank you so much for tuning in again to the Just Start Talking podcast. I'm Jody, and I'll catch you in the next episode, where we will probably dive into another tense you can use right away. If you found this helpful, share it with a friend who's learning English too, and leave a review if you feel like it and if you're enjoying the show. Until next time, keep practicing, keep speaking, and just start talking. The best you can do is just start talking. Thank you, and have a great day.